RCIP reality. This I want to talk to you about, right? Why are people so lazy that they would believe a TikTok reel rather than actually researching and figuring out what the reality is? So what am I talking about? I'm talking about all these TikTok videos, all these Instagram videos, all these YouTube videos who say easy pathway, easy PR through RCIP, and hey, RCIP is the way to get your PR, and this year RCIP will make it happen for you. This year RCIP is your way to get your dreams come true. No, don't be stupid into believing all those things. Do your research. And this is what RCIP reality is. Okay, let me just tell you. First of all, which you all need to understand, RCIP has a quota. Okay, last year RNIP had a quota of 2,750. Only 2,750 applications across 11 communities. So each community had a fixed quota, 100, 150 applications. The bigger communities like Thunder Bay, Sudbury had slightly more, 200, some 200 plus applications, right? This year, for 2025, your annual immigration quotas for all these economic pilots is 10,920. People, not applications, people, 10,920. Now, what's going to happen here is when these are the federal economic pilots, it's a modest target, 10,920, but included in this is FCIP, RCIP, caregiver pilots, agri-food immigration pilot, economic mobility pathways pilot. And for the context, last year it was 2,750. This year, I'm assuming it is same or similar. Last year it was 11 communities. This time it is 14 communities under the RCIP, 6 communities under FCIP, Francophone Community Immigration Pilot. Don't forget that one. So you have 20 communities, or in some cases, same community with 2 pathways as an FCIP and RCIP. So you have 20 community programs fighting for those 2,750, or I don't know, maybe they've increased it this time to maybe 3,000 because they haven't really announced. And the reason why I'm saying it's that number is because let's break it down. The 2025 plan showed 10,920. Okay, but this is people, not applications. 5,500 spots have already been announced and taken off by home care workers. Then there was the agri-food, which is also opened and closed, 1,010 over there. What is remaining? Remaining is what, 4,000 something, right? 4,400. And this 4,400 has to be split between RCIP, FCIP, and EMPP, Economic Mobility Pathways Pilot. That is basically for people who have claimed refugee status and some pathways being given to them as well. Out of this 4,400 remaining split between, and 4,400 people, not applications. So do the math, right? Before you start believing and hoping and thinking, and you're packing your bags and you're moving to the rural community and saying, hey, you know what? The RCIP is going to be saving my life, and they will. This is where I'm going to be saved. I'm going to get my PR through this. Think. You have to know the reality. You have to understand. Knowledge is power, and with that knowledge, you can then strategize. You can figure out. Now, if you're absolutely desperate, there is nothing else working out for you. You have no other pathways. You have no other points. You have nothing else. But then you do have an employer who is in one of these communities. Then fair enough. I will give it to you. It makes sense. Go to that community, do the necessary. Hopefully your employer would have done the designation already and you can get through with that. For everybody else who are thinking of packing their bags and running to one of the communities, think, do you really have a chance? When communities are going to be having only a quota of 150 to 200 applications that they will be taking, and out of that 30% or more will be given, 30% will be given to health, 15-20% given to trades, only 15% remaining for finance and business, 15% for some other category. What really are the chances that a food services supervisor, an admin assistant, a bookkeeper, a truck driver, or you have to know the reality, you have to understand. So without having an employer, first of all, don't even make that move. Don't start thinking of change, because all you'll be doing is going to another community, finding a job. I do not know how soon you'll find it, because people have already moved to these communities 6, 8, 10 months back. Ever since RCIP was going to be announced or was going to be launched, people already knew it, they already moved. Now today, after watching all these TikTok reels, if you're thinking of going and making this happen, I hate to be the bearer of bad news in this situation, but be sensible, do your research, understand this better, know it better, and if it really makes sense, only then make that move. Otherwise, making that move for this year's program might not work out. How? You want to make this move and work towards the next year's program makes sense, because by that time you would have gotten additional points that you can show your intention to reside in that community. You would get more points for having lived in that community, the bonus points, etc. That will count. Because I just showed you the points grid. And of course, you can go to the Thunder Bay website and you can see their points grid as well. Because I'm going to assume most of the communities are going to be drafting their point systems in a similar fashion, in a similar manner. So would you really have a chance, if you are just going to move there, finding a job, having an employer who will say yes, and would you really be able to compete with somebody else who's in healthcare, has been working there, probably studied there, has the spouse who's also working in some job in the same community? Would you really be able to compete with them? How many people will be applying? Thousands will be applying. I can assure you that, because I know the numbers. I do a lot of consultations on a day-to-day basis. I know a lot of people who are looking to move. But for some of you, RCIP may be the only way to go. And for those guys, I wish you all the very best. I certainly think that this is something which you can make use of if at all you have checked all the boxes which work in your favor. Other than that, this year, by and large, and I hate to say it, this year is going to be a tough one. Not only this year, I'm even going to put my neck out on the line and say even next year is going to be tough. So that's your RCIP. Know the reality, have the knowledge, study, research, do your due diligence, and only then make the choice. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We really love it. We really appreciate it. We really thank you for doing that. And yeah, that's the link again to book an appointment. By all means, I'll be very happy to discuss your application one-on-one, your queries one-on-one, strategies, if any, if I can help you with. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining in, and stay forever hopeful.